Hi everybody, welcome back to Mando Lessons. My name is Baron Collins Hill. In this week's lesson, we're going to be working with the tune Miss Monaghan's. It's a great Irish reel in the key of D that I've taught on the website before. And in this lesson, we're going to work on adding some double stops, some hammer-ons and pull-offs, some triplets, and various other ornaments that you can add to the tune to spice it up a little bit. If you haven't learned Miss Monaghan's already, I have a lesson to learn how to play the melody on my website and on YouTube. There's a couple ways to donate if you're interested, and it helps me put out new lessons every single week. I've got a PayPal link and a Patreon link in the description. If you join via Patreon, you can get access to the lessons a day early, patron-only live streams, that sort of stuff. And I also have some merchandise. I've got t-shirts and mugs, stickers, all that kind of stuff. Not required, but greatly appreciated. But let's jump into the Miss Monaghan's kind of ornaments lesson. Alright, I'm going to run this one a little differently. Often I'll just play through the tune and talk about what I'm doing as I do it. But with Irish tunes, they really there's a different set of ornaments that you're going to run into. You're not going to end up with a lot of the old-time tunes that I do, where you kind of get your hand moving and it's a constant stream of double stops. There's not so much of that sound in the Irish tradition. So I'm just going to go through and talk about a couple specific spots that you can throw in specific little ornaments, and then feel free to expand where you throw in those ornaments to other spots. These are not the only places you can kind of create this sound, but it's a good jumping off point anyway. So right off the bat, we have a great spot right at the beginning. The melody, as taught, goes... etc. And we're going to adjust that beginning to add a little bit of a kind of a cut sort of triplet. It's a little kind of punch. I don't know exactly what to call it, but I'll play it and then show you how to do it. Right at the beginning there. So you're taking and turning it into... And so I think it's maybe closest to what a fiddle player would call a cut. And you're going right to the 4th fret and then kind of pull off that note. You get that sort of... It's not in time in the same way that another, it's not... It's... And that just gives a nice little snap to the tune. Right there, let's add, rather than going straight to that 5th fret on the A string, that D, let's replace that with an octave lower D. I have a whole lesson on octave replacements you can find in the technique and fundamentals section of my website. But you're ultimately just going to kind of delay that 5th fret on the A string, which is kind of a classic end of a phrase, and you're going to just delay it by playing an open D and then the 5th fret. So it sounds like this. I kind of lost the phrase there, but from the beginning, with the cut, it sounds like this. So it just adds a nice little, kind of equivalent of a double stop. But it's a little more refined and not quite as powerful. It's a little cleaner of a sound, which often comes up in Irish music, rather than playing... You're more likely to hear someone playing something like that, where you just kind of have a little burst of a single, clean, open, kind of double stop note. A little more melodic, though. So let's play those two phrases together with the cut and then the octave replacement. 2, 3, 4. So I didn't do the cut. 2, 3, 4. Nice. Again. Another thing you can add, let's add a little bit of a G chord in when we get to that B. So it's going to sound like this. It's another octave replacement, but it's all the way down to the G string. Actually, it's not an octave replacement, it's just another note in a G chord. We're playing a B in the melody, which is kind of telling us that it's probably a G chord there. And we're going to add that G note in as a nice kind of drone to fill in the sound a little bit. And again. Another. So that's a nice couple things you can add to that first phrase. Let's do that one more time. Maybe add that open A string as a little double stop there to kind of imply that unresolved A chord a little stronger at the end of the first phrase. And then the second half is very similar. We can just leave that as is. So playing through the whole A part twice, let's just do those same ornaments over and over. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the B part. So right off the bat there, I had an open A drone. And then we can do a little pull off. Put those two together. So that's actually a little triplet pull off. It's taking the place of. So that's kind of two ornaments in one. It's a triplet kind of rhythmic subdivision, and it's also a pull off. And so it's going to be two downstrokes in a row. Now we can add that octave, same octave replacement like we did in the A part. That's actually just the same phrase from the A part. So let's do that first part of the B again. 3, 4. That double stop kind of AE sound. And then the second half, let's do those same. So I'll stop there for now. That's just a few very specific spots that you can add in some very specific ornaments, but that doesn't mean that's the only place to do things with this tune. Feel free to try some of those same ornaments in different spots within the tune, try some different ornaments, see if you can add some triplets, other things to the tune to kind of spice it up to your liking. I figured I would do it a little different this way. Normally with simple to complex play-alongs, I kind of do it in real time, but I had a couple specific things I wanted to talk about this time. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'll be having a play-along jam lesson for Miss Monaghan's coming out next week, so keep an eye out for that. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.